But this is the thing. Through all these buildings is connected a gas pipe that is connected to nothing. Right here. The rest of the building, your air conditioning, your hot water, electrical and that. What's this front over here? Connects through the wall. Goes through. It's going to come through the ventilating. Right. Are they going to gas us in these?
So it sounds like they want this guy to stay here longer. Which is concerning for me because he's stayed here for 14 days.
Mate, you gotta calm down or you're
Mate, you gotta take me somewhere fucking else!
calm down or you're gonna get fucking gassed.
Fucking do it then!
Alright?
Oh, they gave us a wristband to wear, and also like a iPad, and it would track our heart rate and other information about our health.
Said, we've got a doctor calling you and we'll get some Valium prescribed to you that you can call us anytime you like and you can have Valium.
Hey everybody, this is a super important video. The concentration camps just keep popping up in Australia. This is a disaster in the making, already way over the line. We've covered in the past Howard Springs in the Northern Territory in Darwin. Well, now Queensland has joined the concentration camp campaign with their quarantine facility that they're calling Well Camp. Well Camp. This is insane. So Queensland is launching a concentration camp that they're calling Well Camp, where visitors will be required to pay their own way for the 2-week stay. The same price, they say, as hotel quarantine. This is 9 News Australia reporting, as if this isn't one of the biggest scandals to ever happen. The Australian governments are building concentration camps and making people pay to be hauled away and pay for their jail cell. This is not acceptable, folks. It says here, the facility is due to scale up to 1,000 beds in April. Absolutely preposterous that this is being tacitly accepted by the media. This is insane. Look at this. This is a jail. This is a concentration camp with high fence. You can see the cameras filming everything. And they're calling it a regional accommodation center. How is it accommodating to rip people away from their families, to rip people out of their homes, throw them into a camp, and charge them for it? That's not accommodation. This is so Orwellian. So we're going to talk about this, and I also want to talk about a very important revelation I had. 2 strings that I connected that is very important, having to do with them forcing drugs on people in these camps and pressuring people to take drugs. I also want to raise the alarm that they might be gassing people in these camps. We have this video here where you can hear a guard. This guy is in a hotel room and he hears a guard yelling at a person, "Calm down or you're gonna get effing gassed." Okay, this was a few months ago. This video posted on Truth Video's 1984's BitChute account, September the 6th. We're going to review this. And the other thread I want to tie in here is this video that we covered the other day, where a man is behind the scenes showing us the construction of these cabins that they're using in these concentration camps. And he shows us an inexplicable gas line that he says is linked in through the vents, which seems like an obvious way to deploy gas into somebody's cabin. And then, of course, this video from a few months ago, back in December of 21, on Unheard's YouTube channel, was interviewing this woman here who was hauled off against her will for being a close contact to the Darwin concentration camp, Howard Springs. And again, they just launched a new concentration camp they're calling Well Camp. Well Camp. But I want to remind people that she was antsy and they confined her to her porch and her cabin. Wouldn't let her exercise, practically. She was very confined, and it was just an awful situation. And then they pushed Valium on her to try to get her to calm down. They were like, yeah, we can get a doctor to give you Valium. That's the way these people are thinking. Now, what kind of gases they're putting into people's rooms? Are they sedatives? Are they something else? Who knows, but this is way over the line. And I want to bring awareness to this. So here's the Queensland government's website, the Australian state, Queensland. Well Camp ready to welcome guests. Forcibly, against their will. On their own dime. Talk about extortion. and deprivation of rights. So it gives me the exact same Nazi vibes as the Darwin concentration camp. And you might be thinking, no, that's not too many cabins. Although I would disagree with you, that's a ton of cabins. They say they're going to add more. So it's incrementalism, just turning the stove hotter and hotter and hotter on us boiling frogs. This is so offensive. This is a declaration of war, a declaration of treason against the Australian people. This is the Queensland government posting this picture, this incriminating evidence. The Queensland Regional Accommodation Centre at Wellcamp is set to open for its first arrivals, and the Palasko's government has appointed a new commissioner in charge of quarantine. So this lady here, I don't even know how to say her name, she is awful. She is the worst. Deputy Premier and Minister for State Development, Stephen Miles, said the facility was ready to support Queensland COVID-19 response. He says, "The accommodation centre at Wellcamp is ready to support Queensland's response to the Omicron wave," end quote. This is the most lazy press release for a concentration camp I've ever seen. These two sentences are identical. The first just said what he said, using the same exact words as his quote, which they put right next to it. These people are playing the part of imbeciles, but they're little mini Hitlers is what's happening here. This is patently insane, violent, tyrannical, and oppressive. With the center coming online, we have added a purpose-built facility, so does it come complete with the gas chambers, to our options for providing safe and secure accommodation. Yep, just trade up all your freedoms for safety and security, because nobody ever warned us about that mistake. This is disgusting. And they're talking about people who are required to isolate but can't isolate at home, or travelers, the homeless, and vulnerable Queenslanders. Sounds like a eugenics plan to kill the poor, if you ask me. This is absolutely insane. They're building concentration camps, folks. They're even calling them camps. People are being taken there forcibly against their will with no trial or due process. They haven't proven any of their claims that they say gives them justification to do such heinous acts, crimes against humanity. These people have to pay. It says, the facility's first stage of accommodation modules, offering 500 beds and operational buildings and facilities, has been built and commissioned. So this is just the first stage. They have it all planned out, though. What stage is the genocide? Is that stage 5? Listen to this ominous quote. Our strategy for Queensland's broader COVID-19 response will continue to be informed by disease modeling, and Wellcamp will be here for us when it's needed. Oh yeah, we're just going to build these massive concentration camps all across our country. They'll be here when they're needed. This is treason, folks. The center also offers future non-quarantine uses. Oh, non-quarantine uses. Non-quarantine uses. You mean like political opposition, maybe? Maybe someone's questioning the vaccine on the internet? Those pesky thought criminals. Dissidents. Gotta gas them in the camps. This is absolutely disgusting. That was a media statement from the Queensland government. Here's Brisbane Times. Let's see how they cover it. As Queensland opens up, Wellcamp's first quarantine guests remain a mystery. Will it be you? Will it be her? Will it be him? We don't know. Who cares? We're Brisbane Times. Absolutely disgusting. Lack of press oversight. This is fucking Nazi propaganda. All these people who aren't holding these people accountable. Here's the West Australian. First guests arrive at Queensland's quarantine camp. Here is ABC Australia. Queensland's Wellcamp COVID quarantine facility to take first arrivals this weekend. And look how they framed this shot here. Look at the photo they chose to use. The camps, and then you can see it's behind fencing. This isn't a service, folks. This is a punishment. This is oppression. It's set to welcome its first guests, and it puts guests in quotes. Because they're not really guests. Deputy Premier Miles says, we will gradually expand the number of cabins in use at Wellcamp. And here's another photo. The fencing going up. I'm also very curious if these cabins have ways for them to pump gas into them. Now, ABC News, I just want to point out some of their other classic headlines. Fetal cells are used to make the Oxford coronavirus vaccine, period. But they came from a fetus in 1973. This one takes the cake, though. Inside the Darwin quarantine camp, where life is like a holiday for people escaping lockdown. This is absurd, offensive, and disgusting. Oh yeah, nothing to see here. We're not going to give any scrutiny onto the concentration camps that are being built. We're going to sell it like it's a holiday for escaping the hellhole that these politicians have brought into their country. The lockdowns. Oh look, compared to the lockdowns, this is like a holiday. It's like a holiday. Compared to that hellhole that we created, even concentration camps don't look that bad. It's like a holiday. I just can't believe how rigged this whole system is. It's very reminiscent of the Nazi Empire, where the media and the government are working hand in hand and just saying the most outrageous, ridiculous stuff. And oh yeah, I almost forgot, ABC News Australia was also the outlet that, quote, accidentally aired the satanic ritual on their news by mistake. Remember this whole ordeal? ABC News. All right, let's go to this video here. This is a construction worker who's working on building these camps, telling us that they put an extra line for gas to be fed in through the ventilation system in these cabins. And he also describes how they're really just jail cells, built so you can't escape.
Just want to quickly show you guys something, right? Alright, I'm going to show you these things, ready? These are the quarantine buildings. And these are each rooms. Now see these wires, this is a window. Why do you think they got the wire in the window? It hooks up because they've got a massive roller shutter that keeps you in. This electronic door, which will make it lock, turn the air conditioner off or on. There's that much gadgets, these buildings, what is it, 900,000 or 900,000 each building. It's going to be all linoed in here.
I think he said 900,000 for each building, which is a lot of money. Now listen to what he says about this gas line and where he points at the vent for it coming out.
900,000 or 900,000 each building. It's going to be all linoed in here. The windows are double glazed, so you won't be able to punch out of it. It's solid. Each room. This is where you'll be sleeping. Toilet, bathroom, kitchen, TV. They're going to have double beds, so there'll be 2 people per room. And it's little prison, size of little remand buildings. But this is the thing. Through all these buildings is connected a gas pipe that is connected to nothing. Right here. The rest of the building, your air conditioning, your hot water, electrical and that. What's this one over here? It's through the wall. It's through. It's going to come through the ventilating. Alright. Are they going to gas us in these? Actually, I'm starting to think they're not for the...
Did you hear that? He says, are they going to gas us in these?